Hello. In the last video I made two different kind of Stroppel canes, different colors. And this one I used white, a sheet of white. And for this one I used gold, since it was mostly dark colors left with just a pop of color. And today we're going to make simple beads out of the pretty scraps. And there are so many nice things you can do with the scraps, but one of the easiest is to and very pretty is to cut them into square beads. Get the same thickness. This is the same, and just cut. These type of beads you can make holes in them before you bake them. Look how pretty they are. All the sides got different patterns. And for a bracelet with many of them side by side and with small beads in between, they can be super pretty. So they are super easy to make. You can also turn them into other shapes, and then you have to some of the colors I'm using Fimo Soft, and some of the colors do bleed and make if it's white and black, then the black will go and color the white. So you may want to use sandpaper afterwards to get the white clean again. This one went pretty well, but that's one kind of bead you can make the edge rounded and do whatever, but and poke a hole and you got a pretty dagger bead or drop. If you make it rounded, then it looks like a teardrop. And even small, you can make spacer beads, square spacer beads. So simple. And poke a hole with your tool of choice. And they can be spacer beads for the long ones. Or you can have beads in between. So that was square cube beads and rectangle beads. And the round beads, I guess all of us may play with clay a little bit, know how to make a round bead. So if you just push the stuff you got, so the air bubbles go away. Look, the colors are going to the black went onto the white. So now I'm not going to touch the other side, because I'm going to make a bead flat that's flat on one side, almost like a spoon. Could be a pendant, but I think it's so small I would say this is one type of bead. And then I, before I remove it from the surface, I want to poke a hole in it. And I just use a knitting needle. And this is the way I want to be front. So the back I will just give a little bit of sanding after it's done. When using pokey toe tools to make the holes, you need to be very careful. It's very easy to get it to distort. But I've found if I go in on the back, and this one it got an angle, so it's starting thin, and here it's the same, but here it go gradually up. And when I make the hole from the back, I start on the back side. Then if you look at this, yeah, and wriggle, do like this, and not push hard, just let it work its way. Then the hole, when you go very careful in from the front and go all the way to the where it stops, it will push the clay that got out from the back. Look, it's not it have not destroyed the bead. It's still flat. The motion when I will take it in will flatten the thing. But maybe you can make to the hole after you have baked. That way you will not get any problems. Or you can use a different tool. This one I made into a triangle, and to get it so the legs, the sides are the same, I just used this cutter to make a print on the raw clay and use the stiff blade to cut. I tried to push and make the triangle using just the cookie cutter. That's no good. It do stick, and you do not get a triangle out on the other side when you push. So this I had a plan for, and I removed all the white I had as a backing, because some of it got black on the white, but on the inside this I can use. And by slicing it very thinly, you can choose whatever side you want to work with. But for this I wanted to make triangle beads, and then I want them to be the same thickness. They will not be the same. And that's the beauty of this. Just try to... One of the thing I would recommend is to practice cutting. Use some clay in one color clay, and just decide I want a slice this thick, and figure out the way you work best. And slice, 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 slice until you find a way to hold the hand. I hold my hands with this into the tile, so it's sturdy, and then I just have my head over the knife, the stiff knife, and cut, and can do list like this, but cut down. Find out how you can get even slices, and practice, practice, practice. And after a while, when you have made things and you discover that you get crooked slices, just go back to practice again. And these I'm just going to poke hole in and use them as beads. It can be very, very pretty. It all depends on what scrap clay you got, what colors, and so you could also make other pretty things if you make an outline. But for this video, it's all about beads. Now we got triangle beads, and this is a lentil bead. That's also, you have a, just make a round ball and add very thin slices onto that ball and cover it, and then you start rolling it and pushing gently down, 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 and then it will get a shape like this, and it will make the clay move. So you, if you do it much rotations, you will get a swirly pattern. That would be very nice. Here's just a bead like I did. Cover around bit of clay, and when we're done and I found no, it's all the same, then I just smooshed it. I wanted it to be flat, and I want to make the holes after it's baked, because this one is so large that and thick that if I start to push, it will change shape, and I want it to be like this. This can probably be, with a sharp tool, you can make a guide hole if you're very careful, but earlier I have chosen to make the holes when I'm done. So and round beads, you flatten can with a hole in, you get a donut bead, and that's how you can use your Stroppel cane for beads. And the ones you are not happy with before it all turns into mush, you can just put together in a cane again, and there will be more pretty patterns to use. So you can make a slice of like make a sheet of clay out of it. And remember, if you cut very thin slices and they are even, then they will not change much when you flatten them. This way we can also make tube beads. Just and then I would have used first covered this with this scrap clay, and then you just make a tube. Yeah, we can do this. And to get it to be shiny on the outside, or not so, I'm not happy. I do not like sanding. So if I can, I try to avoid it. So by using something shiny and making sure you wipe the work table, you can avoid getting the. Just make sure you clean. This part I think is look, there's a gap, but for this video I do not care, so I just cut it off and I turn it, and I cut it off, and now I can now you have a nice tube bead. And that's, I think this video is long enough. Later in a different video I will show why I did use the zigzag, the wavy blade, when I made the other cane. That's up next. See you later.